So when you're solving the systems by substitution, the very first question you should always be asking yourself is, what variable do I have by itself? Do I have x equals or do I have y equals? Pause the video and write that down. You need to know that. Then the next step is you substitute in for that variable. In other words, replace that variable. In the other equation. Pause and copy. Your third step is then solve the equation that you just wrote when you substituted, and then substitute that answer you just found to get the other answer. Remember, your final answer, if there is a solution, should be an XY pair. Otherwise, you could say no solution or infinite. But if there is a solution, you have to write it as an XY pair. Alright, pause and make sure you have all the steps down. Example A, start by asking yourself, what variable do I have alone? In this problem, actually, both equations have y equals. So I'm going to take the bottom one, y equals negative 3x minus 10, and replace negative 3x minus 10 where y equals in the top one. So remember, we put it in with parentheses. I'm going to put that equals 2x plus 5 because that was y. So I have negative 3x minus 10 equals 2x plus 5. Now, in this case, there's really a 1 in front of the parentheses. If I distribute that, I just get negative 3x minus 10 equals 2x plus 5. So that was step 2. Now step 3 is solve. I'm going to add 3x to both sides just so I have positive x's. I get negative 10 equals 5x plus 5. Subtract 5. I get negative 15 equals 5x. And then lastly, divide by 5. Negative 3 equals, x. Let me erase that. Negative 3 equals x, not negative 3x. Equals x. So that's the first answer. Now I need to plug that back in. Either one will work. I'm going to use the bottom one. Negative 3 times negative 3 minus 10. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9 minus 10. 9 minus 10 is negative 1. So my final answer, I write it as a coordinate pair in parentheses, negative 3 comma negative 1. And technically I should really check it in the other equation. With my answer negative 3, negative 1, I'm going to plug it into the other equation. The other equation was y equals 2x plus 5. So this is going to be my check. Y is negative 1 equals 2 times negative 3 plus 5. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus 5 equals negative 1. And negative 6 plus 5 is indeed negative 1. So negative 1 does equal negative 1. That is correct. Pause the video and make sure your notes are looking spiffy. I'm going to walk you through part B. You're going to do it kind of on your own here. Alright, so question 1. What variable do I have by itself? X equals or y equals? I have y equals by itself. Put a little cloud around the part that's going to be replacing y. So your cloud should be around negative 5x plus 13. Now draw an arrow to where you're going to put that in the other equation. And circle the letter. So you're drawing an arrow to y and circling it. That's where it's going to go. Rewrite the top equation with that negative 5x plus 13 in parentheses into it. For x minus 2 y, so that's where negative 5x plus 13 goes in parentheses. You make that plus look like a plus sign. And what does it equal? It equals 16. Alright, draw a line down our equal sign and see if you can solve for x. Pause the video and restart when you get x. So I distribute negative 2. I get 4x plus negative 2 times negative 5x is 10x. Negative 2 times 13 is minus 26 equals 16. Then you should have combined your like terms. 4x plus 10x is 14x. Minus 26 is 16. Add 26 to both sides. You get 14x equals 42. And then divide by 14. So x equals 3. Alright, what comes next? See if you can tell me. You're going to plug in 3 into one of the equations to get y. If you do the bottom one, it's easier. So take the bottom one, plug in 3, and try to get y on your own. Pause the video. When you're done, resume it. Y equals negative 5 times 3 plus 13. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15, plus 13 is negative 2. Okay, lastly, write down your solution. Your solution is parentheses 3 comma negative 2. Okay, nice job. Now, I just want to make note, these are coming out to be nice whole numbers, but if you get a fraction answer, don't be afraid. That's okay. Okay? Do not be afraid of fraction answers if you ever get a fraction. Alright, you're done with this video. Move on to the next thing.